Pastor Roy Gerhard from Galloway United Methodist Church in Franklin, Pennsylvania, sharing a few words of encouragement to help us follow after Jesus. What skills are needed in order to serve the Lord? You need some sort of special skill set to be able to serve God. Well, the story of David and Goliath reminds us that it is a broad spectrum of skills that go into the service of God. In fact, we don't need just preachers and prophets, but David was needed on the day when he came to the battlefield. He came out there as a shepherd with his sling and took on a giant. That also reminds us of this, that it's not just those that are 9 feet tall that are big and strong, that there is a strength in even the smallest among us whenever they exercise faith. And that is the basic skill that we have to have, the basic element of being a disciple. That we have to be a disciple in faith, where we follow after the Lord, trusting Him, believing in Him, in order to give our lives to Him. You know that in the Bible, we're told that all we need is faith the size of a mustard seed to get us underway. Well, mustard seed is just a tiny speck. I mean, it's no bigger than the head of a pin. And so that a mustard seed of faith is only a little bit. But that's enough whenever it is fully invested. That's the thing that David shows us. He was willing to go all in. He didn't just come along and say, well, boy, I think that we ought to do something about that giant and leave it at that. No, he went all in. He was willing to go out on the battlefield with exactly the skills that he had in hand and invest them fully in serving God, fully in faith, trusting God that if he went out there on that battlefield, that God had something for him to do and to get it done, and that God would be with him. That's the basic element of being a disciple, to have faith. And that's then the key to really being of service to God. You got to be one to make one. You got to be a disciple to make disciples. That's our fundamental mission in life. Don't forget that. When Saul failed and was rejected by God, he was failing in that fundamental mission. He was not following God. Don't forget that. It's not just that he messed up on a mission, didn't do a few things he was supposed to do. No, he had ceased to follow God. He wasn't in it to glorify God and to bring honor to God, not truly. No, he was in it because he wanted to be important and be king. And we'll just see that continue to cause him to make the wrong decision over and over again. Because he is failing to follow God, he can't lead others to follow God. So no matter how big and how strong he was, no matter how smart he was, good looking, all of those things, all those skills were going to waste, because you've got to be one to make one. You've got to be a disciple in order to make a disciple. And you and I have to make sure that we complete that same mission in our lives that Saul had. He was there to lead God's people, so he had to follow God and lead them to follow God. Failing that, he was a complete failure. And so you and I have the same mission. Jesus said, go into all the world, make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, teaching them to obey whatever I have taught you, and I'll be with you, Jesus said. Be one, make one. It's the same mission. And so you and I can come to the table with all kinds of skills. In fact, last night we were completing the 4th night of our Vacation Bible School. You realize how many skill sets are required to go into that, with people building crafts, sports events going on, kids doing various kinds of adventure projects outside, and science efforts. I mean, and teaching them the Bible, providing them with snacks. I mean, you got the whole gambit of skills. The thing that matters most is that we take whatever that skill is and we bury it completely in God's work. And when we do that, as a disciple of Jesus, we can be invested in making disciples. So whatever your skill, bring it all, and bring it in faith in Jesus. May God bless you, and as you share his good news, may God make you a blessing wherever he takes you.